broadcast live on the Instagram.
TikTok.
Chris, can you hear me? Okay. She said 2 minutes.
We haven't called the meeting to order. That's right.
The mic is hot.
I want to call the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission in Republic, Missouri to order at this time and ask that the roll be called.
Commissioner Alexander,
Here.
Commissioner Campbell, Commissioner DeBrava,
Here.
Commissioner Ellis,
Here?
Commissioner Hyder,
Here.
Commissioner Mann,
Here.
Commissioner Pinnell.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, first item of business is the approval of the agenda. Everybody take a look at the agenda, see if there's any changes that need to be made. Make a motion or make a motion to approve, one or the other.
Motion to approve?
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second on to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Pinnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.
Thank
All
you.
right. Let's look at the approve the minutes. Take a look at the minutes of the June 13th, 2022 meeting. And if there's any changes that need to be made, let us know. And otherwise, let's get those approved.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the June 13th, 2022 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Pinnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Chris, will you read the meeting procedures, please? We have three hearings tonight, so y'all pay attention.
The Planning and Zoning Commission holds public hearings as required by law and provides recommendations to City Council on matters relating to land use planning, zoning, and the subdivision of land. Any person who has an interest in the subject matter of a hearing will have the opportunity to provide testimony and present evidence to the Commission during the public hearing. Speakers are required to conduct themselves in an orderly and respectful manner. Disruptive behavior, including applause, yelling, speaking out of turn, or other inappropriate behaviors will not be tolerated. Additionally, the following applies to any person addressing the Commission. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes unless authorized additional time by the chairperson. Speakers must speak at the podium unless previous arrangements have been made by the chairperson. Speakers must legibly print their name and address on the sign-in sheet at the podium prior to speaking. Speakers must begin by stating their name and address. Speakers should speak clearly and into the microphone. The chairperson will announce the subject of the hearing, followed by a report from staff. The chairperson will then open the public hearing to the applicant, followed by those in favor of the application and those opposed to the application. The chairperson will close the public hearing. During this time, the commission will discuss amongst themselves. The public may not address the commission, and after the close of the public hearing, unless requested by the chairperson. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall base their recommendation and/or decision on information and evidence presented during the public hearing. This decision, if required by the application, will be forwarded in writing to the City Council for further consideration.
Thank you, Chris. I'm calling the first public public hearing, rezone 22-007, public hearing and possible vote to recommend the approval of the application of a change in zoning classification of approximately 1.38 acres located at the 3400 block of East US Highway 60 from agricultural AG to general commercial C2. Chris has it. Give us an overview of this.
Thank you, Chairman Ellis. The Republic Land LLC has applied to change the zoning classification of approximately 1.38 acres of property located at the 3400 block of East US Highway 60 from agricultural AG to general commercial C2. The property subject to this rezoning application consists of approximately 1.38 acres of land located at the 3400 block of East US Highway 60. The property is currently vacant. Timberland Land Co. LLC recently annexed into the City of Republic with a stated intention of developing storage units on the site. The following paragraphs contain brief analysis of the present site conditions as well as the proposal's relationship to adopted plans of the city. The city's comprehensive plan generally encourages the expansion of residential and commercial development through proactive rezoning of land at appropriate locations. Appropriate locations are described generally throughout the plan with regard to the relationship of land at particular locations to infrastructure capable of supporting various intensities and densities of uses. The goal is to recognize potential infill sites as opportunities for development while mitigating impacts to adjacent established properties. The rezoning of this parcel is consistent with the city's adopted plans. The general trend in the vicinity of this subject property is commercial retail and multifamily residential. The subject property is adjacent to the Fieldstone Planned Development District, PDD, to the west. The general commercial C2 zoning district is intended to allow less restrictive retail and service-related businesses. Development of the property will require connecting to existing municipal water and sewer mains located near the property. Both a 10-inch water main and an 8-inch gravity sewer main are located along the southern portion of the property line. The sanitary sewer will flow from the site to the McElhaney and Schuler Creek lift stations before being pumped down to the wastewater treatment facility. The water system, named lift station, and wastewater treatment facility currently have the capacity to serve intended use. The property will have access off of Farm Road 101 for traffic. A traffic impact study was not required for the rezoning application as the developer has indicated a low use of intensity. The traffic impact of the proposed use has been initially evaluated by the city engineer. The proposed use generates less trips than other permitted uses within the general commercial zoning district. A traffic impact study may be required should the intended use change. Development of the property will require adherence to the city's transportation plan and the adopted transportation map. The subject parcel does not contain any areas of the special flood hazard area. The subject property does not contain any identified sinkholes. Staff considers the proposed zoning map amendment rezoning to be generally consistent with the goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan, consistent with the trend of development in the vicinity of the site, compatible with surrounding land uses, and able to be adequately served by municipal facilities. Based on this analysis performed without the benefit of evidence and testimony of a public hearing, staff recommends the approval of this application.
Thank you, Chris. At this point, I will ask for the applicant or the applicant's representative, if they're here, to come forward and identify themselves and give us your point of view, if there is anyone. Thank you, sir.
Hi, good evening. My name's Chris Sexton. My address is 4031 East Melody Lane in Springfield, Missouri, and I am a representative of Timberline Land Company. Basically, now that the 1.38 acres has been annexed into the city of Republic. It was previously Greene County, and we got the approval for the annexation of the land there. It's our desire that it be rezoned from agriculture to general commercial C2 for the development of a climate-controlled self-storage facility. Does anyone have any questions?
We might.
Yeah.
But we may not know right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hang in there. If you want to go back and sit down, if that's all you have to say, that's
Yep.
fine, and we'll move to the next one. But then when we go into our meeting, we start discussing it
Okay.
here. We sometimes ask questions if anyone has a question.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else that is supportive of the application that wishes to speak? Seeing no one come forward, is there anyone that wishes to oppose the application? No one opposing. I will close the hearing and go to our meeting portion of this. Somebody's got to say something.
Is the only access for transportation planned off of 101, or is there going to be any connection to adjacent sites?
There's no connection planned to adjacent sites at this time, or to be required. No access will be off 60. The only access will be off 101.
Motion to approve. Rezoning 22007.
I have a motion to approve, to recommend the approval of the application to change the zoning classification of approximately 1.38 acres in rezone 22-007, the property being located at the 3400 block of East US Highway 60, and the change would be from agricultural to general commercial. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you. Want to call the roll?
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Pennell,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We move on the agenda to a second hearing, SU 22-003, public hearing and possible vote to recommend the approval of an application for a special use permit by Josen Properties Arkansas LLC for a boat, vehicle, or self-storage facility at 3020 US Highway 60. Is the applicant here, and or the applicant's representative here wish to speak? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to do that 7-minute thing that we talked about earlier. Trying to get Chris out of here just in case.
Thank you, Chairman. Josen Properties Arkansas LLC has applied for a special use permit to operate a boat, vehicle, and self-storage facility on the property located at 3020 US Highway 60. The subject property of this application is comprised of approximately 5.7 acres of land and is zoned general commercial C2. The lot is currently occupied by 3 existing buildings. These buildings are not, however, present within the bounds of this development plan. The property is surrounded by general commercial C2 to the east and west, Planned Development District PDD to the south. The applicant is requesting a special use permit to allow for the development and operation of a self-storage facility of approximately 54,000 square feet in total. This application, were it to be approved, would allow for a future new commercial application in line with the proposed development plan. The city's special use permit ordinance, section 405.670, authorizes, upon approval of the city council, uses which are otherwise prohibited by the subject zoning district, provided appropriate conditions and safeguards which may be imposed to protect the public welfare and to conserve and protect the condition and value of property in the neighborhood. Special use permits are required by section 405.670 for boat, vehicle, and self-storage facilities. In addition, the operator of the site will be required to have a valid business license on file with the city prior to conducting business. The site currently has access to City of Republic water and sanitary sewer services. Determinations as to the exact placement of water and sewer infrastructure will be made during the review process for a new commercial building permit. Additional hydrants will be placed on the site to ensure the fire department can provide adequate coverage. The city's water and wastewater systems have the capacity to serve the site improvement. A stormwater report will be required during the development of the project. This special use permit, if approved, would remain valid until a change in use or in the configuration of the use occurred. Changes in use or configuration would void the special use permit. Furthermore, the applicant is required to abide by the various elements outlined in the submitted site plan, as well as any additional conditions that may be placed on the permit at the City Council's request. Design review of site improvements would occur during the review phase of the building permit application process. A traffic impact study was required previously for the development of this property. Improvement of the site in the manner described by this application will necessitate meeting the recommendations made by the TIS. The easternmost commercial entrance will be removed as required by the TIS, MoDOT, and the City of Republic for compliance with the safety standards and adopted plans of these organizations. The site will utilize the westernmost commercial entrance to the property to serve these and any future site improvements. The subject parcel does not contain a special flood hazard area. The subject parcel does not contain any sinkholes. A geotechnical report has been conducted on a sinkhole previously believed to be on site, which places the rim off of the subject property. Staff considers the proposed special use permit request for a storage facility in a general commercial C2 zoning district located at 3020 US Highway 60 to be generally consistent with the city's special use permit ordinance and able to be adequately served by the city's transportation network and the city's municipal facilities. The Builds Department analysis is performed without the benefit of evidence and testimony of a public hearing and does not account for the discretionary authority of the City Council to limit the placement and number of storage facilities in the city. Development of the subject parcel will require adherence to the city's adopted plans and ordinances. The next step in the process of development of the subject parcel upon a favorable special use permit outcome will be the development, review, and approval of a commercial building permit.
Thank you, Chris. Now, if the applicant is here or the applicant's representative is here and wishes to speak, please come forward and do so.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Swanigan. I'm with CJW Transportation Consultants. We're a civil engineering firm out of Springfield, Missouri, located at 5051 South National Avenue, Suite 7A. I'm here on behalf of the applicant, and I'm really just here to help answer any questions that may come up during the meeting. Chris did a fantastic job summarizing the project and what we're looking for tonight. So that's really all I have. Going for that 7 minutes, but I'll answer any questions that you all may have. Do the best I can to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
may or we may not. It kind of depends on how it goes. Is there anyone else that's in favor of the application that wishes to speak? Seeing no one come forward, is there anyone opposed to the application that wishes to speak? Well, I can't get any takers. I guess I know where everybody's going to speak, if they are. Okay, well, we'll close that hearing and move to our discussion. Anybody have questions, concerns?
I've got a couple. I guess if you want to store things, Republican 60 is the place to do it. Just out of curiosity, is there, maybe a question for Chris, is there recommended, we're seeing more of these special permits for storage facilities, at least since I've been here. Is there a recommended number for a city the size of Republic, or is it totally the discretion of City Council to decide?
So it would be at the discretion of City Council. This, as you can tell, this particular use was placed into the special permit application. It requires an additional, hoop to jump through for someone looking for that. So it is, the city is not, we're not interested in deciding what land use goes on. City staff is not, but City Council, their discretion to allow a special use permit or not, or to place any conditions upon that permit, that's something they can definitely decide to do. We do track, on the other hand, we do track how many storage units we do have in the city and the square footage, that type of information. So we do keep that information available if anyone requests it.
Got it. Yeah, I think this is the fifth one I've heard in 3 meetings.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the same question, because it does seem like there's been a glut of it, but
There's been, it has been more recent that we've seen some. This is not, this wouldn't be typical necessarily a year ago at this time.
Based on the design sheet, is the driveway in that particular configuration to line up with an already constructed median break, or is there anything that's going to be happening with this?
There is a median break across. The traffic impact study allowed for the possibility that median break be closed, though.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Garrett speak a little bit further on that.
So what that is allowed to be right now is a right in, right out intersection. So there will not be any, you can't cross from here and get back on 60 westbound.
Okay.
So what you're saying, just to clarify, is that break in the median will be closed?
It will be closed. It will be closed to this particular development. As for the development across the street from it, I think they'll still have access to it as it was intended originally.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions from up here? Somebody make a motion then.
motion to recommend approval of PDD 22-003, rezoning of, I'm sorry, I'm on the next one. I skipped ahead.
You are moving it forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you your 7 minutes. Motion to recommend the approval of 22003, special use permit for Joe Sand Properties of Arkansas LLC.
Great. This would be your motion is to recommend the approval of the application for the special use permit. I think you said that.
Yeah.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. We'll call the roll.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
and Commissioner Pennell.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, our third hearing, move it to that, PDD 22-003. Public hearing and possible vote to recommend the approval of an application to change the zoning classification of approximately 28.88 acres located at the 7200 block of West Farm Road 170 from agricultural and general commercial to C2 to Kirkwood Estates Planned Development District, PDD. That too.
Apparently, sound like me.
Karen.
Thank you, Chairman. Kyle Kirk and Kirkworks LLC have applied for a change in the zoning classification, again, of 28.88 acres, a property located at the 7200 block of West Farm Road 170. And this is a change from agricultural and general commercial, AG and C2, to Kirkwood Estates Planned Development District, or PDD. The property subject to this rezoning application is adjacent to Farm Road 170 with 2 properties located on the north side of 170 and 2 properties located on the south side of 170. The current zoning on the properties to the north is general commercial C2 and consists of these 2 existing parcels with 1 current business. On the westernmost parcel, operated as an auto repair shop. The eastern parcel is currently vacant. The properties to the south of Farm Road 170 are both zoned agricultural and are both currently vacant. The applicant is proposing the rezoning of this property to a planned development district to allow for a residential and commercial mixed-use development consisting of 1 area, Block C, of single-family dwellings consisting of 11.84 acres, and 2 areas, both Block A and Block B, of general commercial lots. This is 3.84 and 5.52 acres. It also contains areas for detention to serve the particular development. The development plan also contains new water, sanitary sewer, and stormwater systems to support the construction of the development, the required secondary arterial street, which is Bailey Avenue, and local streets to support the development. Specifically, the applicant's proposal includes the following elements. Block A is general commercial, compliance with the general commercial district regulations consisting of 3.84 acres and 3 lots. Permitted uses do include all of the uses associated with the general commercial zoning district. Block C is general commercial C2. This would also have compliance with the general commercial district regulations and consists of 6.52 acres and 3 lots. Finally, Block C is medium density single family residential. This is in compliance with the medium density single family district regulations, the R1M regulations. It does consist of 11.84 acres and 49 lots. Again, this is for a permitted use for single-family residential lots only. The total density on that is 4.1 dwelling units per acre. The purpose of the plan development regulations is to allow for a mixed-use, unconventional, or innovative arrangements of land and public facilities, which would be difficult to develop under the conventional land use and development regulations of the city. This particular plan development district has been reviewed by the city's technical review team and does meet the requirements for consideration for a plan development district. The city's comprehensive plan generally encourages the expansion of residential and commercial development through proactive rezoning of land at appropriate locations. These appropriate locations are generally described throughout the plan with regard to the relationship of land at particular locations to infrastructure that is capable of supporting various intensities and densities of uses. The 2021 Comprehensive Plan and Land Use Plan identifies the following goals and objectives related to development. Support market conditions to develop a greater variety of residential options, support new development that is well connected to the existing community, and to recognize potential infill sites as opportunities for development. The subject site is currently surrounded by existing agricultural, commercial, and residential zone properties and uses. To the north, we have East US Highway 60. To the south, Greene County Agricultural. To the east, medium density single family residential, and also Greene County General Commercial. And finally, to the west, Greene County General Commercial and General Commercial in the City of Republic. The land uses permitted in the applicant's proposal are considered to be generally compatible with surrounding agricultural and residential zone properties and uses in proximity to the subject parcels. Portions of the proposed development are currently served by a City of Republic sanitary sewer and water service. The remaining portions of the development not currently served by these utilities are in proximity to both. The proposed development will connect to existing gravity sanitary sewer mains in the area, with the effluent traveling to the McElhaney lift station and then to the Schuler Creek lift station before being pumped back up to the wastewater treatment facility. The development will be served via a looped water system connecting to existing water mains parallel to both US Highway 60 and East or West Farm Road 170, and also to an existing water main located in the subdivision to the east. The exact location and size of the water mains required to serve the development will be determined during the infrastructure design process. The water system, the named lift stations, and the wastewater treatment facility all have capacity to serve the proposed development at full build-out. The development plan includes the construction and dedication of a new secondary arterial within the development known as Bailey Avenue. This particular road is identified in the city's major thoroughfare plan and also our transportation plans, in addition to multiple local streets to serve lots within the particular development. The applicant provided a traffic impact study memo reviewed by MoDOT in the City of Republic to analyze the impact of the traffic generated by the proposed development. The results of the TIS memo indicate the development warrants a right-in, right-out at the intersection with East US Highway 60. These improvements are required during the initial phase of construction of Bailey Avenue from West Farm Road 170 to East US Highway 60. The transportation improvements required to serve the development are the responsibility of the developer. MoDOT is currently conducting a corridor study of East US Highway 60, which may identify additional improvements impacting this development. Any improvements identified by MoDOT outside of the required right-in, right-out will be improvements both designed and constructed by MoDOT. The city will be working with MoDOT and the applicant throughout the development process, including construction of the required transportation improvements to support the development. No parcel within the development will have direct access to East US Highway 60 or West Farm Road 170. The development does contain areas designated for stormwater retention or detention, designed to accommodate stormwater generated by the development. Additional stormwater areas and or easements may be required through the engineering design process. The stormwater retention and detention areas, the drainage easements, and all open and common spaces will be owned and maintained by the developer or a property owners association in the future. The subject parcel does not contain any floodplain areas, and it also does not contain any identified sinkholes. All developments must include site design providing for sufficient emergency vehicle access, as well as fire protection facilities. Additional elements of code compliance evaluated at the time of the infrastructure design impacting the development of the subject property include, but are not limited to, the city's zoning regulations, adopted fire code, and adopted building codes. The next step in the development process of the subject parcels upon favorable rezoning outcome will be the development review and approval of an infrastructure permit for the construction of utility services and roads. Staff does consider the proposed zoning map amendment rezoning to a planned development district to be generally consistent with the goals and objectives of the comprehensive and land use plans, generally consistent with the trend of development in the vicinity of the site, generally compatible with surrounding land uses, and is able to be served by municipal utilities. Specifically, the proposed development can be adequately served by the city's municipal water and sanitary sewer systems and the city's transportation network. Based upon this analysis, staff is recommending the approval of the application.
Thank you. Is the applicant or the applicant's representative here? Come forward and give us your name and.
Good evening. My name is Rick Wilson, Wilson Surveying, 1835 South Stewart, Springfield, representing Kyle Kirk and his family, this project. This is an interesting project. We're placing development in between existing residential and existing commercial. So we've tried to transition and put like kinds together with the residential on the east, commercial on the west, commercial on the north side of Farm Road 170. Conversations with MoDOT have been that after the construction of Bailey, that they may close the intersection at Alpine Village, which has been a problematic intersection. We'll see how that develops as they continue their study. Be happy to answer any questions.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Wilson? You can ask it if you want, but I think it's probably better if we wait to hear everybody out and then we'll get back to you.
All right, thank you.
You're my conscience tonight, aren't you? Is there anyone else that's in favor of this application that wishes to speak? Is there anyone opposed to the application that wishes to speak? A room full of people with no place to go. I've got a smile on my face, but you can't see it. Okay, we'll close the hearing and move to our discussion.
Regarding the comment about Alpine Village entrance being closed, would that be the one further to the west or to the east that you were mentioning? And what is the current thought process on that being closed? Would this become the main entrance to this location, or would it all close?
For the record again, my name is Rick Wilson, Wilson Surveying. the discussions have been that Bailey Avenue would intersect there at the old way station location and would relieve the state of the necessity of an exit from 170 onto, and it'd be on the east side.
Okay. With that, it does look like the way station or the old way station section is being removed. Is it also going to be removed on the other side? What does anyone know MoDOT's plans with that?
We would definitely have to ask MoDOT. I don't believe either are currently being removed, at least to our knowledge.
It would not be the responsibility of this developer.
I wouldn't expect so
Okay.
for that much demolition. Is there going to, with the access to 170, is it currently planned to be stop controlled on the north-south and 170 be let through, or what's the transportation plan for that intersection with 170 and Bailey?
That is a great question. I'll let Garrett Brickner, our city engineer, answer.
Yes, for now, the stop will be on Bailey Avenue, and we'll reevaluate that in the future. It may become a four-way stop at some point in the future, just depending on the traffic flows we see through there.
And
So-
then
Sorry, can I follow up on that? Are you suggesting there's a four-way stop on Highway 60?
No, this would be at Bailey and
Bailey and 170.
170.
Got it.
No, that would be bad.
And then with the extension of Bailey right now, I assume there's currently plans on extending Bailey all the way through south into current sections. Has there been any plans for development currently right south of there, or is the expectation of traffic with this to be currently confined right here?
For now, it will be. Bailey is on our major thoroughfare plan to go all the way from US 60 to County Line Road eventually. So there are various pieces throughout the city that have chunks of Bailey built. We're just working on getting those all connected at this point.
Thank you.
Did you have something?
No, I think Mr. Wilson and Garrett covered both of my questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Anybody? Musings? Somebody pop off with a motion then.
All right, motion to approve the hearing and possible vote to recommend the approval of an application to change the zoning classification of 28, this is the right one, .88 acres located at the 7200 block of West Farm Road 170 from agricultural and general commercial to Kirkwood Estates Plan Development District.
All right. Do our second?
Second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Pinnell,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava,
Aye.
and Commissioner Alexander.
Aye.
Okay. Our next order of business, not a hearing. Sub D pre 22-001, possible vote to recommend the approval of an application for a preliminary plat for Tiger Creek, a residential subdivision consisting of 110 lots on approximately 37.9 acres located at 3445 East Hines Street. Karen?
Thank you. S6 Tiger Creek LLC has requested the review and approval of a preliminary plat for approximately 40 acres known as Tiger Creek, consisting of 120 residential lots zoned high-density single-family residential, streets, and infrastructure. Preliminary plats are reviewed for their conformance with the following review criteria to ensure the development in the proposed location does not endanger public health or safety, does not injure value of adjoining property, and is in conformance with the adopted plans of the city. Preliminary plats are reviewed by the city planner and city engineer in conformance with the requirements of 410 of the municipal code, comprehensive plan, and all applicable city adopted codes and regulations. This property is located at 3445 East Hines Street. Again, the proposed plat is currently zoned high-density, single-family residential. The reference preliminary plat contains 120 lots, each with a minimum lot size of 7,000 square feet. The preliminary plat also consists of streets, open space, and drainage areas. The preliminary plat proposes a new local street connection, East Colonial Street from the west, which is in Liberty Place, Phase 2, and two new local street connections to East Hines Street. The new public streets will be dedicated to the city during the final plotting process. The reference parcel is not currently connected to municipal utilities. Development of the property will require connection to the city's water and sanitary sewer systems. The development will be served through a looped water main system connecting to an existing water main on East Colonial Street and to a water main running on the north side of East Hines Street. Construction of the development will require the relocation of an existing lift station located in Liberty Place, Phase 2, to facilitate gravity flow throughout the development. The relocation of the lift station is required for the sanitary sewer service and will be a cost associated with the development of the property paid for by the developer. The effluent will travel from the relocated lift station to the Schuler Creek lift station before being pumped to the wastewater treatment facility. The water system, named lift stations, and the wastewater treatment facility do have capacity to serve the intended use. The preliminary plat of Tiger Creek has been platted for the construction again of 120 single-family residential lots and associated infrastructure, including public streets and sidewalks, public water and sanitary sewer mains, and stormwater drainage. The subject parcel does contain a small area of special flood hazard area, also known as floodplain, and does include an identified Corps of Engineers blue line stream. Development of the property requires compliance with local, state, and federal regulations. The subject property does not, however, contain any identified sinkholes. The preliminary plat contains a stormwater detention area in the northern portion of the development and a series of drainage areas aligning with the existing Corps of Engineers blue line stream. The plat contains a conceptual layout of the stormwater areas. These areas will be designed to mitigate existing conditions to reduce the amount of post-development flows to less than pre-development flows. A stormwater report will be reviewed by the city engineer during the infrastructure design review process. All stormwater components impacting the blue line stream will be reviewed and permitted also by the Corps of Engineers. The stormwater detention areas and all open space and common areas will be maintained by a homeowners association upon construction. The design of streets, sidewalks, water and sanitary sewer systems, and stormwater detention areas will be reviewed and permitted during the infrastructure permitting process. Staff is recommending the approval of the proposed preliminary plat as it is in general conformity with the requirements for preliminary plats. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Karen. What's your favorite?
Speakers on this? Is that it?
I'm sorry?
Use speakers on this?
No, this isn't a hearing.
Are these stormwater areas open trench, concrete? Like what type of open area for all the stormwater collection?
There will be some open areas and also some areas of stormwater piping. And that definitive design will be decided during actual infrastructure phase. But we would expect both.
And I can't remember from the preliminary or from the first zoning, but were there any turn lanes supposed to be associated with this?
There are not.
Okay.
Has there been any traffic study conducted?
Yes, there was a traffic study conducted at the point of rezoning. The main results of that traffic study indicated that no turn lanes or major traffic or transportation improvements were required due to the impact of this particular development.
Do you recall how long ago that was?
like 2 months ago.
Okay. I guess just the concern would be if anyone's been on East Hines Street trying to get onto Highway ZZ, that traffic probably backs up past the point in which you turn into that neighborhood. But if a traffic study was conducted, great.
No comment?
Yes, we can comment.
So you're not wrong, but that is not the responsibility of this developer to fix. That is an issue with Hines and ZZ intersection, not necessarily this development. We are actively pursuing measures with MoDOT to work on an intersection improvement at that intersection.
I used to hunt this property just south of this. Any other comments, concerns, questions?
I think traffic's the same thing we heard last time, so I think
Yeah,
it
it's
makes
a
sense.
consistent
Yep.
theme.
Yeah.
Well, the property does sit kind of close to the high school, I think, doesn't it?
A little south of there, yeah.
And ZZ's always been busy. Not meant as an excuse.
Not far from the new
Just
works
an
building.
editorial comment. What's your favor?
Motion to recommend the approval of an application for preliminary plat.
Okay.
Second.
It's a preliminary plat of Tiger Creek Residential Subdivision, 110 lots of approximately 37.9 acres located at 3445 East Hines Street. Your second still good?
Still good.
Thank you, Will. Call the roll.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
Commissioner Alexander,
Aye.
Commissioner Pinnell,
Aye.
Commissioner DeBrava.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the ever-popular citizen participation meeting. I'm sure since a lot of you have been sitting here and haven't said anything that you're here for the citizen participation portion of this meeting. So is there anyone that wishes to come forward and speak to us on some issue that has not otherwise been on the agenda tonight? And I don't want you to take my comments as sarcastic. I'm delighted that we have people that come and see the process of this commission, because I think we try our best to perform a service to all the citizens, and all of us are citizens of Republic, so we're trying to do the same and pass that on to you. Thank you for coming. The ever-popular citizen or community development department update.
We have no update this evening.
Okay, then that leaves, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a second.
Second.
Thank you, Cynthia. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Alexander,
I get to be first this time. Aye.
thank you. Commissioner Pinnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Mann,
Aye.
Commissioner Hyder,
Aye.
Commissioner Ellis,
Aye.
and Commissioner DeBrava.
Aye.
Thank you.